Aloha, everyone. What we saw today was nothing less than awesome. It was incredible, incredibly strong rally overall. Starting off with the NASDAQ pocket pivot point signal day. NASDAQ 0.92% move, huge move, volume well above average. And on top of that, MACD, you can see it's coming down to the mid range line. So is TSV. So we continue to actually work off overbought conditions while we rallied 0.92%. So quite an amazing day overall in the NASDAQ and also in the Russell 2000. Volume was higher than the day before, and it was well higher than the day before. Not shown. Market Smith has it. And this index too, once again, MACD working off overbought to mid-range. TSV starting to bounce a little bit, but nowhere near overbought. So we got room to run before any significant selling pressure might rear its head from overbought conditions. And then on top of that, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. First, the Dow Jones Transportation Average will show you that. Confirmation of its big up day above the 50-day moving average. Dow Jones Industrial Average also big rally today above the 50-day moving average, closing above the highs of the sell-off whenever it started to really, pick up back here on the 10th. I'm not sure if that's the day. I think this is the day that we switched to neutral on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So with us closing above that high day, 17,989, that is now a negation of that signal, and we are back to a buy mode in the Dow Jones Industrial Average and also the New York Stock Exchange. It not only closed above the 310 sell signal, but above the 36 neutral signal. So a move above 1096 ended that. So NYSE is back to a buy mode, and as you can see, oversold levels. So we could really run on this one. And S&P 500, same thing. We're in oversold levels, back to a buy condition, huge volume, pocket pivot point signal. Everything looks really good. And one thing that I kept telling everybody, not necessarily here because we don't really focus on it too much here in the videos, but in my chat room, a lot of oil bears. Facebook, a lot of oil bears. StockTwits, a lot of oil bears. And I kept telling everybody that if oil didn't bottom back here, we're probably not going to go much lower. And I started to feel not really foolish, but I just didn't see how oil could go lower. But whenever we started to break, just a few days ago, I started to be like, okay, hell, we're going to see some new lows in oil. Let's see if we can get oil or gasoline down to $2.50 on Maui. That would be incredible to see. But instead, we've got what we call a 2B reversal. This is made famous by Martin Zweig. Marty Zweig, also made famous by... My brain is going blank. Unbelievable. Two books. Trader Vic. Vic Sparandeo. That's it. Victor Sparandeo. 2B reversal man. He's the one that I really learned this chart pattern from. But oil is putting in a major 2B reversal on huge volume, absolutely huge volume. The USCI commodity index is confirming. DBA, the agriculture ETF, kind of a confirmation too with the DBO. But overall, oil X/X. Damn it, I never know what that one is. But we can just look at this one. Oil looks to be putting in a major bottom here. And there's certain oil stocks like WLL that confirm that. This one's in my CanSlim scan. I don't know if it's a CanSlim scan or if it's AAII shadow stock or select screen, whatever I look at and put into my CanSlim scans. But WLL is one of the nicer looking ones. Also notice SM and SN off the 50-day moving average. These oil stocks kind of confirm that oil is probably bottoming. Because if oil probably wasn't bottoming, I don't think these guys would look the way they do. All right, now moving on to oh, by the way, also, how about the moves in currencies? I mean, no matter where you look, euro, Japanese, yen, the dollar, it's the euro also short. Pretty incredible moves today overall in these instruments. Yeah, that's a worthless piece of garbage. I'm glad that doesn't trade anymore in UUP. So pretty interesting day overall today. Now, with us going back into a buy signal, I still had a quarter of my hedge on for a close below 24.98. That can't be right, is it? Yeah, so 24.97 would have been my stop on the last part of my position, but I'm going to go ahead and get out of it here. So I'm already out of 75% of this, getting out at another 25%. So SQQQ is the only full sell. There are no other sells. Every other long looks good. There were only two stocks that had a rough day. PTCT, make sure you move your stops around accordingly, and RCPT. RCPT, for instance, I wouldn't have a stop until right here, that low a day, and PTCT right here, and you can even put one right here if you want. I might do like a quarter of the position here and 75% there just to reduce my cost basis, or just reduce my losses, I guess I should say, in case the stock is reversing here. But a heavier volume engulfing candle the day before is not good. I have two new long positions. I could have had more, but you know, nothing was amazing, man. There were a lot of nice ones like H-Way. You know, that one's got some pretty big growth and huge estimates. DTSI, that's a big wave trading favorite. That's breaking out. And then Facebook, you know, USNA, Perfect Speculator Scan one coming off the 50. But nothing really got me. CYN is pretty good. Would have loved it, but it's just a CanSlim stock. You know, I mean, there really wasn't confirmed anywhere else, you know, so passing on that one. But Sonic, this chart pattern really interests me, and even though it isn't currently a pre-perfect speculator scan stock, I know it was just recently. I wish I would have written it down somewhere. But if you look at the February lows to the February highs, that would qualify it as a pre-perfect speculator scan stock. So I have a feeling this is where I saw it back in February. And that means that if Sonic breaks out here and goes to new highs, it's going to re-qualify for a pre-perfect speculator scan. But the problem is that I believe earnings are on the 24th. So earnings are right around the corner. The good news is if this stock fails this move, we're going to know pretty soon. I really doubt it's just going to consolidate sideways ahead of earnings. But even if it does, we're not going to risk much if we set some sell stops just below the recent lows in February or March. The way that a lot of restaurant stocks have been acting post-earnings, and the way mutual fund ownership is growing, and the way the earnings projections are for the next 2 years, I really doubt Sonic's going to gap down, so I'm going to go ahead and take a risk. 2.5% of your account capital in this one. I do not have that in the cash account for sure. And then also Visa, CanSlim quality stock, bouncing off the 50-day moving average on huge volume with a huge intraday reversal off the lows after a beautiful initial rally back here from October into February. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful price action. Very solid looking stock overall. We have very little risk in it. Earnings are out of the way. This is a 3.5% position because besides being a CanSlim stock, it's also in the price, volume, BOP surge scan. So that one is good to go. It looks like it's, you know, clear skies ahead. We'll see what happens. I never get cocky. I'm always worried about sharp pullbacks. And with the flash crash tonight, like, you know, in currencies of the dollar, that's why you should always be on your toes. But we'll see what happens. Things are looking really good.